to Real Raw and Authentic and kind of live from Atlanta. Not really.
Hey.
Um, hey Jay. Hey Ed.
What's that? What's
Got
that?
Yo,
the
what's up?
All right, guys. I'm having technical difficulties, but we're gonna
We
try to make
rocking.
this
We
do what
rocking.
it do.
It is what it
What's
is.
up, y'all? Talk to the
It's
people
good.
while I get my life together.
Hey, man.
Yo, so we got a nice show today because we got to get into these games. I feel like because
Oh, cause you wanna
Yes.
brag.
nah, I mean, look, ain't no bragging. Like, I think both games were really exciting. And I think as we always see in the game of football, especially in the NFL, to really win, to get over, and to get to the Super Bowl and actually be crowned, you always need that crown jewel, which is the quarterback position. So I feel
Okay,
like,
stop
we
right
got to get
there.
into that. You know
No,
what I
stop
mean?
right there. Because what we're not gonna do is we're
Okay.
not gonna violate Joe Burrow. He is
Oh, I ain't say no names,
no,
bro. I'm just saying,
I'm not gonna forget.
each game, that came up, there was the quarterback play was really important. That was the key factor, and what was the
There was
key.
no quarterback play for the NFC game. Whole
Of
team
course,
was
there
down
was.
to their feet.
Well,
Uh-huh.
look, you got Brock Purdy. He got hurt. So that really hurt them. But if he was in, I mean, he came back, but he was running the ball. He couldn't really pass. But what if he didn't get hurt? So I think we got to get more into that. So let's like kind of go into the game. So
Yeah, he probably would have lost. Okay, so let's just get the elephant out the room because you so want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and why they won, like they beat Joe Burrow and them out the
nah.
water,
All right. So
which
let's.
isn't the fact. The fact of the matter is, because we all saw the game officiating.
Oh,
Both.
officiating.
Yeah, no, we're
Here
not
we go.
blaming it. We're not blaming on officiating. Like they lost. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But both quarterbacks played their ass off.
That's true.
Patrick Mahomes did his thing. Chris Jones had a monster game. My
Mm-hmm.
man's had 2 sacks in the game, and they had sacks all season. Playmakers. All 30 of those other receivers stepped up, especially when oh my gosh, Patrick Mahomes had 3 of his receivers go down in that game, right? His
Mm-hmm.
key receivers, and
Yep.
then like Skylar Moore had to do something.
He had
Isaiah
to pick up the slack.
Pacheco,
Yep. And what was the other one on the receiver?
Valdez
Marquez
Scantling,
Vance, something from
mm-hmm.
Green Bay. I forgot his
Yeah,
name.
he stepped up big. But it's
Valdez Scantling.
Yeah.
but look, when you see into the cuz look, I look at it like this. I was just looking at the game before we came. I was watching it again. Joe Burrow had the ball within I think 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So
Mhm.
he was backed up I think at his 20 within his 20. I think he was like in the 10 or like the 7 or something like that. Um, he had, I think, 2 timeouts. He had 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm sorry, like we crowning people. We want to talk. He's really top. That's your moment there. That you win that game. You know what I
But he
mean?
does that all the time. So I'm confused.
He
It's not
does it
like he
all
does
the time
it
though.
all the time.
I don't know. Past time I see him, he
Is
been losing. Like, but look, I'm gonna say this.
he
Um,
been losing? How he get to the championship game?
all right, so look, against we was just talking about this. So against Baltimore, right? If we had Lamar Jackson that game, that would have been a different discussion, right?
Possibly.
Buffalo, I'll give you that. I truly believe Buffalo collapsed and Joe Burrow rose to what Josh Allen was supposed to do, right? Because I think overall that team they isolated Stephon Diggs and that was over. Like they couldn't really do nothing after that, right? But this is what I was saying where I personally, because the whole time in this playoff talk was we're the big dogs, right? Joe Mixon kind of put that out there, like we're the big dogs, we're the reigning AFC champs, which I give them that,
And
and
there's
that
nothing wrong with that.
exactly. And look, and last year, right, we saw where Patty was the guy, right, and he had the ball going into OT. and he couldn't do nothing. He had a dud. Joe Burrow came back, boom, brought it downfield, scored, right? So we crowned Joe Burrow, which I get it, but I personally, I haven't seen that in my eyes. I didn't see that enough from him. This year, him coming in, he had, I personally believe, an easier division than.
Nah, okay, we going to sleep. Ed, talk to your brother.
Go ahead. No. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What are you talking about? Have we not watched Joe Burrow for the last 3 years? And who's crowning him? It's okay to say, okay, now I'm going to play devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is a beast. He's a monster. He's a rare talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
We people, and I say we, I'm talking in general, we're giving him his flowers off rip.
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with giving Joe Burrow his flowers off rip? Because
Patrick Mahomes was regular season MVP and then went to the Super Bowl the next year and won. So he was crowned in 3 years.
Yeah.
First year, he didn't really play as much. Second year, he won MVP regular season. Third year, he went to Super Bowl and won Super Bowl MVP.
But he accomplished stuff, right?
Yes.
But he won.
Joe Burrow has accomplished things. May not be on the same level, but we're not going to
let me say this. Joe Burrow, let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Joe Burrow's here to stay. Let's be real.
Okay.
If we're talking best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, today, right? In the NFL as far as talent.
Okay.
It's the Patrick Mahomes. It's the Josh Allens.
Okay.
It's the Joe Burrows.
Nah.
It's the Lamar Jackson.
Nah.
Oh,
not in order. Maybe not in order. I mean, I give you that.
In those order, but he's in that conversation.
And we was just talking about this.
Playing with the Bengals. That man is playing with a team that had no O-line.
Oh, he got no offensive line, but he got key. You got, to me, right? So you got Jamar Chase. You could throw to him in double coverage. He jumping over both people and catching them. Josh Allen don't got that. Maybe Stephon Diggs, I'll give him that. Maybe he got that. But Stephon Diggs, to me,
Joe Burrow makes better decisions.
No, he don't.
I don't believe that. Yes, he does.
Look at within the 2 minutes. Look within the 2 minutes we just had against Kansas City. He had intentional grounding. What?
How many game-winning drives does Joe Burrow have? Do you watch Joe Burrow play?
Of course I watch Joe Burrow play.
Him like he's a B-level quarterback. He's in the conversation right now until he falls off a cliff that he is here to stay and he's ascending. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals keep it up. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Bengals got one more year. Susan, you lose T. Higgins. You still got Jamar, but you don't got T. Higgins, and maybe I think they tied up Tyler Boyd, right?
Yeah,
right?
Tyler Boyd here. Yeah. The contract.
But to me, Joe Burrow eating off his weapons, which I respect. Look, you got the weapons, use them, and he cool with it. Let me finish, Danache. Let me finish. Look, so he cool with his weapons. I respect him for that, right? His offensive line, we say that, blah blah blah. But look, in this game, you need duel, right? I think if you really look at this game now, you see the dudes who's really, even Josh Allen, they doing RPO with him, and it's working, right? So to me, Joe Burrow, I look at him. I looked at the past 2 minutes within the AFC Championship game. I looked at I didn't really look at this past season.
Thank you.
But look, because to me, his division, let me finish. His division isn't as strong. How
you going to say that?
Look, his division ain't that strong to me. I look at Jalen Hurts. His division stronger than.
But Patrick Mahomes' division is strong.
So let's break it down. You're right. I agree with that. So you have Lamar Jackson, right? Who I'll really give you, really top quarterback, but he was hurt. So you really faced what's his name? Hunter.
Something Huntley.
Huntley, yeah. So you had Huntley in the AFC. Get out of here with that Pro Bowl. So we're gonna get in that Pro Bowl stuff in a minute. You gotta talk all pro. But anyway, so really he's the only Lamar to me, but he was hurt and he's gotten contract disputes. That's the only real quarterback you're constantly facing in that division. You have Justin Herbert. Derek Carr is okay. But you have Russell Wilson, who had an off year this year. But you got three better quarterbacks in that division. You got better pass rushes, right? So you have Khalil Mack in the Chargers. Bosa, yeah. You got Joey Bosa in the Chargers. You got who else?
Max Crosby in the Raiders.
In the Raiders. You have.
But Larry, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You ain't watched them play.
Who?
So
The
so
Bengals.
you're biased. I understand what you're saying. Like
But look, let me say this. I think the
paper,
Bengals. Wait, let me finish though. Oh, go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
on paper it sound good. But if you ain't watched Joe Burrow
I've
play,
seen Joe Burrow play.
you just said I ain't really watching play like that this shit. Which one is it?
In the regular season, I don't really care about the regular season that much. You have a weak division.
Okay, so
You have a weak division.
Okay,
To
so
me, you have Lamar Jackson. You're not even in the AFC Championship game to me. So
Right.
your division can ruffle you, and they don't even got that many quarterbacks in your division.
I heard you. They had Lamar Jackson last year, and they was in the championship and went to the Super Bowl. But that's besides the point.
And took the L.
Point is,
they ain't win no MVP, ain't win nothing. But go ahead.
And that's fine. It's not. I'm not saying he is better than Patrick Mahomes, but you do have to put him in the conversation that he is.
I don't even think he's better than Lamar to me.
Here and
I don't think he's better than Lamar to me, to be honest.
Okay, and that's your preference, but he's in the conversation.
I think if you look at the game now, I think a Joe Burrow can do really well when you can get rookies off their rookie contract and exploit their skill, which I give the Bengals that's a great thing. But when you don't win, because you got one more year now. If they win next year, I shut up. I'm wrong about Joe Burrow, but I don't know. I don't really think that's going to happen to me. But
that's crazy. So look, I wish we were giving Josh Allen that same energy.
Because
I wish we were giving Lamar that same energy.
Of course. I personally think they're better skill-wise. I think Joe Burrow is capitalizing off a stacked team going back to went to the Super Bowl last year and went to the AFC Championship this year. But what kills them, which I feel like it comes down to him and comes down to everybody else, is penalties, right? Within the 2 minutes, bro, Joe Burrow, you should not be giving me no penalties. Why you give me intentional grounding, 15 yards?
Because the Chiefs had, first of all, it was a great game, right?
That's true.
The Chiefs, Chris Jones had a good game, but it was penalties on both sides of the ball, and the refs missed a lot of calls.
Oh, refs ain't missed no. Danache, come on, let's go. Edward, come on, get me in here. But it's a part. I look at this, Danache. Joe Burrow gave me 2 turnovers. I don't want that. I'm like Danache. I look at this, right? We talked about this last episode. I think from the beginning, when dudes come in the game, you crowning people. They got the swag on. They got the glasses. I give you that when you winning, right? We got to do that in the beginning because what happens, I feel like, in the game now is you crown people too early. They get cocky. We got one more year. I'm with a stacked team. Now we come back. You get one injury next year. Joe Mixon's out. You don't go to the playoffs. Then the year after.
I just want you to have the same energy for Josh Allen because I'm going to be honest. No, you don't. I'm going to be honest with you, right?
Okay.
Josh, you put Josh Allen in that category, but Josh Allen don't win like how you're speaking about winning.
Because
I'm not saying one is better than the other. Because
I think Joe Burrow got a better team. I think Joe Burrow got a better team than Josh Allen.
Okay, there were penalties on both sides, right? And as the game is going in real time, you're going to miss that, right? Like the left tackle Orlando Brown, the move he did against Trey Henderson. Obvious, and it was done literally right before Joseph Asai, which was kind of dumb, but you're moving, like you're going super fast, so I get it. Shoves Patrick Mahomes out of bounds, right? Can't happen, automatic 15. You miss the opportunity for the game to go into overtime, right? It just is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and break down all the misses Joe Burrow had. Irrelevant.
That's relevant, Danache. Don't give me, because that's what sums up the game. That's what makes a great quarterback. You give me 2 turnovers and you have more penalties. You're losing that game. I don't care how skillful you are. You gotta minimize what makes a winner to me. Because
jump in here because your brother can listen in.
Come on, because we got to talk about quarterbacks winning
and break down some misses Patrick Mahomes did, but that's not the point.
Let's go.
The point is Joe Burrow is in the conversation, and it was a good game. It's not like Joe Burrow got blown out 21-3.
We thrashed, we thrashed Patty last year because he gave us a trash drive last year. That's why we came back and started to give Juro. Well, it's Burrow House. Well, you know why? Because Patty.
power since day one,
What?
since his rookie season, because he has that it factor. Sometimes
Well,
you just
I agree with that, but I'm saying the whole fanfare that made this great of a game was we crowned Joe Burrow. The whole media, everybody crowned Joe Burrow because, but Danache, look, we crowned Joe Burrow and thought he's 3-0, right? He's the winner because last year in a key
what's wrong
drive,
with them?
Patty Mahomes flopped, right, Elwood? Like the key drive last year, Patty Mahomes flopped on it. So we looked at Joe like, nah, Joe rose to the occasion, went to, but lost, couldn't take advantage, right? When you look at, like Elwood said before, we crowned Patty because he had the MVP the year before, and then when he got the chance, he didn't just go to the house and he didn't just go to the dance, he won it.
He won it, yeah.
So when you
could
take
be
an
wrong, but I
opportunity like
feel
that, you got to win it all for us to
I
crown
feel
you.
like people were crowning Patty before all of that because of his skill set. Just like
but then
people
it was
crowned
cemented
Josh
because he
Allen
won.
because of his skill set. No, people were crowning Patty, comparing him to Tom Brady early because of his skill set. Really comparing him to Aaron Rodgers before they compared him to Tom
Nah,
Brady
you don't
because of
compare
his
Aaron
skill
Rodgers
set.
because Aaron Rodgers
And they
don't win.
do right, but as far as skill set, the things that Patty Mahomes does, the scrambling, just like people, specifically you,
Okay.
crown Josh Allen, and he don't win a motherfucking thing. Next subject: Eagles 49ers.
Let's go.
49ers. Y'all lucky I'm off this camera right now. Y'all can't see my face. I'm bulging out and everything. Brock Purdy goes down. UCL injury, maybe looking like a 6-month or so injury. Question: what do the Niners do moving forward with quarterback?
He has a UCL injury.
Yeah, what does that look like?
It's I think it's called an ulnar collateral ligament injury. So like, a lot of baseball players get that. It's like around the elbow. And
so he really couldn't throw like that.
He literally couldn't.
No, he couldn't throw.
Literally.
I don't know why he came back in the game. To be honest with you, I didn't know he had that injury. I had no clue he had that injury. I didn't know what his injury was. I heard he came out for some time and then came back. So
it was a complete tear. Sorry to cut you off, but a complete tear.
Like I don't know why they brought him back in the game. It was pointless.
I think because you had Josh Johnson get concussed, and then your next option at quarterback was Christian McCaffrey, honestly. Because if you remember the game, they started to give Christian McCaffrey the quarterback helmet.
Oh, no, it's done. It's
like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because basically, you kind of lost the game already with that injury.
I personally think, honestly, so we looking at quarterbacks there, right? Obviously, we knew, like, Brock Purdy. Like, let's be real here. Even if he was playing and he didn't have that UCL, he wouldn't win. Let's be honest. Like
maybe.
The game was close in the beginning. We don't know,
bro.
You don't think they would have won?
I don't think Brock Purdy impacts the game the way the 49ers needed them to take over against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we would have, like we saw in the beginning of the game, John just said, right? The game was close. But as soon as when Jalen started to get into that run game, it was over. Like, that offensive line started moving. Miles Sanders started picking up hella yards. They was doing the read option. Like, I personally think, like, the 49ers, they need that type of quarterback. Like, Brock Purdy did good enough, right? Who did he face? He beat
They faced the Seahawks at first, and then they faced the Cowboys.
So let's be honest.
He was in a position not to make mistakes, right?
Exactly.
I always said throughout the season, I believe that the 49ers were a complete team with or without a quarterback. And I'm not going to count Josh Johnson because I feel like they just picked him up yesterday. And if you don't know, he's been on 14 NFL teams. So big.
That must be a record. That got to be a record.
That got to be, yeah. So it's like...
weren't they hurt during the game because Nick Bosa kept going down. They were losing like some defensive players. It was
they
tough.
kept dropping. But I personally think, you saw, I don't know if people saw, they showed Jimmy G smiling on the sideline. I'm like, because it's real.
They did?
Huh?
They did?
Yeah, Yeah, Jimmy G was smiling aside. I think it was like 21-7 at that point. Going into half, he was smiling like, you see? I'm like, it ain't the same. Like, you just can't put anybody there and win. You think so? Nah, not really. You know, like, I think, you know, the Eagles, I don't, even if Jimmy G was there or Trey Lance was there, I don't see them beating the Eagles there, honestly.
So question. Okay. Yeah. So you answered it because I was going to ask about the Jimmy G thing. I think it would have been the same. So we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl for 2 weeks, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But Travis Kelce, back injury, right?
Yeah.
And, a back injury is something different. A fairly recent back injury because I think he tweaked it the week before the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes' ankle, which shout out to his doctors and God because he played miraculously better than we all thought.
And he ain't take the shots either. I was like,
he
wow.
didn't.
Yeah.
Andy Reid facing his former team and Nick Sirianni facing his former team because Nick Sirianni was on the Chiefs since 2009. So the Kelce brothers going at it. We got some storylines to talk about.
I know. It's nice. The NFL weaved it in, Adrian Foster, saying that, but no, we'll go over that another time. But
No, but I think he said that as a joke.
I know he's trolling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at first I thought he was serious, but then I found out he was joking. I was like, oh, okay.
I just think in this game. I just think in this.
What he say? I missed it.
Oh, he said that everything from training camp all the way to the Super Bowl is scripted in the NFL.
Yeah.
So even his
injuries, it's not a reality TV show.
Exactly. Everything is scripted.
So him being on the Texans and they never win, it was scripted.
Too. Yeah, exactly.
even your injuries is scripted. And I was like, what? But then I saw like, oh, he's trolling.
He's just trolling.
Okay.
Yeah,
he had to be. Or smoking. Or both.
Yeah, I think it was intentional. It was definitely intentional.
I think the game how it is now, where a lot of these teams they understand. I think it comes down to like the top down, right? Where these organizations buy into these schemes, and these coaches are like, you know what? This team understands what a coach like me needs to win. So they all kind of just go to these franchises. So you see like the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. You see who else? Like, Dallas. I think Dallas is an anomaly because it's Jerry world. Like we always talk about that. So I think Jerry picked shit out of the hat. Like he just this and just pick or the nice shiniest thing right now. He goes for that. So I think Dallas is a little different. But you look at, a lot of these, even like the San Francisco 49ers, getting D'Amico Ryan, right, as defensive player. People didn't really see him being this type of defensive coordinator impacting the game as he did, like being that player's coach, right, and him leveraging that to go to the Houston Texans. So I think when you look at, in this game, it's like top down, as they always say. So these organizations, they buy into these schemes because they know these schemes, repped by the right coach, repped by the right position coaches, get you to the big dance all the time. And I think certain organizations just don't get it. Like they just trying to like half-ass and put it together, and they just have this revolving door, So
that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's definitely a problem.
First Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks.
Word.
Damn.
Started.
First it was the first Super Bowl with 2
black
coaches. Yeah, against the Colts and the Bears. Now it's the first Super Bowl with
2 black quarterbacks. So it's moving, It's like
I love that. I don't know, my brain went back to the Niners listening to you, but one thing the Niners do have though is a quarterback problem. It's like they're just cursed with quarterbacks. It always comes down to the quarterback or lack there.
I don't think they got a problem this year though. This offseason? I don't think
Trey Lance injury, remember? And then do you really trust him? Jimmy G was out of there.
No, he gone. They're not signing him back.
Yeah, and then Brock Purdy. We're talking a tear. He's getting a
Yeah,
second
but
opinion.
he
How
was
long is it
nice.
going to
He
take
was
to
a nice
rehab?
ride for us. He was a nice ride for us to make us feel good. But we got to get a quarterback now. Like
You
I feel
need a
like that's
veteran.
in the
I
front
think you need
office.
a
That's the
veteran.
talk right now. Like
I really think they're sold on Brock Purdy.
you think so?
I think they're sold on Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. Like they have two quarterbacks under their rookie contract. Why bring in another one? And these guys, Brock Purdy performed. I understand he's not a first-round draft pick or whatever the case may be, but the man did go all the way to the NFC title game. And it's not like he came in week 15. The guy came in the middle of the season. And it's not like he made a whole bunch of mistakes. Bro, throwing 1 to 3 touchdowns a game with 200 to 300 yards.
That's true. That's true. That's
with
big.
Yeah, he
over
played it
60%
safe,
completion rating. That's not bad.
I agree with you, Ed, but my question is when you have two quarterbacks, rookie deal or not, who are injured, they're young, right?
Yeah.
Trey Lance is your guy, injury, let's see how that works out. And if he's even a good quarterback, that's number one.
That's
I'm with
true.
you.
That's true.
Brock Purdy would be my guy if I was Shanahan, but let's see how long it's going to take for him to come back from that injury.
To come back?
Yeah.
If they're talking 6 months, if these doctors are, entirely accurate, or at least close to it, that would be what, February? March, April, May, June, July. So that means before training camp in August, he should be ready.
That's true. So he could take first team reps, hopefully.
He could take first team reps because in July and August, that's when training camp starts. OTA starts, I think, in March.
So let me ask you this, though. But let me ask you this. Y'all don't think, in the front office, John Lynch right now thinking, honestly, I like Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
But I got Greg Kittle, right?
Yeah, Greg Kittle.
Did we sign him to... They did. They gave
him a
contract. They gave him a contract. You got Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You got Debo. Debo been fussing for a new contract. You ain't give it to him yet.
No, they did.
No, they did.
Oh, they did?
They did. Yeah, they gave him.
So they did. So they gave him. So now, so you got to keep these dudes happy. You got Brock Purdy, who maybe, but do you not maybe go into free agency with all the quarterbacks we see coming into the free agency now, try to get somebody and do a QB competition in training camp to see who can come out number one, who can give us a better chance at a Super Bowl next year?
It depends on how much the players would want, the free agents, the unrestricted free agents would want.
That's true, yeah.
Because
that's true. So
if you're talking about, let's say, Brissett ain't bringing you nowhere. You might as well deal with what you got.
Keep it Brock Purdy, yeah. But what about a Geno?
And then remember too, guys, it's still kind of up in the air because Brock Purdy's, they didn't realize how severe it is. So he's still trying to get second opinions, and they're hoping, that's why I threw the 6 months thing out of there, that he can undergo like a repair and not a total reconstruction.
Is it like I'm going to sound dumb here. Is it like an ACL for quarterback's
elbow?
arm? Yeah, for elbow?
Yeah.
So it could be longer. Because look at what with Odell Beckham. I know it's a little different, but like Odell Beckham in the big game, he tears it. He has ACL, right?
Because your ACL is your anterior cruciate ligament. Your UCL is your ulnar cruciate ligament.
Yeah.
So it's technically the same thing,
right? So it could take longer than 6 months.
It can, because baseball players, I don't know how long they're not out for.
They do drugs. They be back quick.
Okay, all right. Let's slow down. Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy.
Sorry.
That was not needed.
My apologies. Carry on.
Yeah, he could miss longer because it's not often you see players in the NFL have that injury. Baseball, yes, due to pitchers, due to the way they pitch, but quarterbacks and any other player in the NFL, no, you don't see that often. So
that's true.
I don't know exactly how long that
I don't know.
will take.
I think as an insurance, because to me, like, you're paying a lot. Like, you got Christian McCaffrey, you got Greg Kittle, you got Debo.
Yeah.
You got Brandon Ayuk, who you saw. Brandon, is he an unrestricted free agent?
He's going to be a restricted, I think, this offseason. I think this is his.
Oh, so he's restricted. So they can bring him back. They can give him an extension. He'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you possibly got Brandon Ayuk. So now that's a nice little tandem. Like, who are the quarterbacks coming into the free agency? We got Geno, right? Daniel Jones, possibly.
They're not taking any of those quarterbacks.
You
They
don't think
just
so?
no. They gotta figure it out. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanna continue that conversation next week. Honestly,
Okay, that's
All
fair.
right.
That's fair.
I really want us to dive in on that because you're right about Brandon Ayuk contract extension. Shoot, it's somebody else. Maybe Nick Bosa is the other player you're thinking about, Jeremy, with the
Yes. This is his third
um,
year, so
I
he's
really want to dive into that because that will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Niners quarterback situation. But I do want to talk coaching moves because
okay.
it's getting a little busy. Vic Fangio,
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins confirmed, not confirmed. DC with the Dolphins, right? Vic Fangio,
Yeah.
big deal.
Oh wait,
Sean Payton,
Yeah. Sean Payton.
finally with the Denver
I know.
Broncos.
I know.
The Broncos sent a 2023 first round pick and a 2024 second round pick for Peyton and a 2024 third round pick.
That's worth it.
that's a lot.
This is crazy.
I think that's
this
worth
is
it
like a
though.
big deal.
I think
Yeah.
that's worth it. Like, I don't think that first rounder you get right next year. If maybe say you get a I don't know, like a B tier quarterback, maybe who say let's do like hypotheticals. You go for the guy who went to the Chargers offensive coordinator. What's his name?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. Say you win him, right? And you say, you know what? We got a young mind there. Maybe we do okay, but then he got a first round pick next year. I don't think that first round pick next year, even if you're bad and you a lottery pick, I don't think that player can impact the Broncos now more with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson's on the time clock, right? You need a quarterback. You need somebody who can come in, simplify the game, and give the team that morale where other players on that team feel, all right, we're actually being coached by a guy who actually knows the game, who's been to the place we're trying to get to, and who has won it.
Quarterback.
Exactly, who's coached good quarterbacks, right? So I feel like that's needed more than the first round pick. So when I look at it like that, I say that's a good pick for the Broncos. I say, like, they can really see. I think you see them a minimum at 500 next year. I think.
Okay. So let's be very clear, right? And let's speak facts and not opinions.
Okay.
The Broncos aren't a bad team. They had a shitty year.
That's
it didn't
true.
work out.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is still a good quarterback.
Absolutely.
Not saying that he's terrible, because he may have actually declined, right? Don't know. But one thing's for certain, Nathaniel Hackett was not it as a head coach for that organization. And you can tell immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Russell did show that he still could do something once Nathaniel Hackett was the hell up out of there, right? Consistently, those last 3 games. So Sean Payton can do something, and Russ can possibly be somewhat, if not 90%, and that's a high number, undoubted, but somewhat of I'd say like 85 to 90% version of himself, because they got running backs. They have weapons. It's just that those names don't jump out at you because they ain't been winning, right? Or whatever. But that defense is top notch.
The defense is, though. The defense is, they got rid of Melvin Gordon. He was like a fumble machine. You had to get rid of him.
Fumble baby.
But who they got? They got at the other running back position. They have Hillman? No,
No, they have Royce, I believe. I don't know who their running backs are, to be honest with you.
So I think they.
That's because Melvin Gordon was getting that ball.
Yeah, he was getting that. He was fumbling like crazy.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon had to go.
You got Jerry Jeudy though.
Wait, they have Latavius Murray or no?
No, he's actually in Baltimore.
He's in Baltimore. Yeah. So I think
Royce Freeman. I think that's what running back. Royce Freeman.
Yeah. I think with Sean Payton coming into this free agency, I think he's gonna try to make a big splash. Salary cap going up for all the teams.
Yeah, $220 million now.
So shit looking real, right? So players can get paid now. You know, these GMs and these coaches can't be saying, "Oh, we don't have the salary cap." Nah, like it's shown now. You need a run game, you need pass rush, you need a good quarterback to get to the big dance. If you ain't paying those positions, you ain't really real. You ain't trying to win. You trying to win your way, which you know may get you to a divisional game, but you ain't getting to the Super Bowl without them. So you got to be throwing the money at those positions to try to get there. So I feel like, you know, the Broncos, you got Russell, so you got the quarterback, you got the pass rush, you got the defense. You need the run game. So you got to invest there and, you know, try to get to the big dance. So we'll see what Sean Payton can do.
Because they do have 2 receivers.
Yeah.
They got Jerry Judy.
Yeah.
And Courtland Sutton.
Courtland
Sutton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are 2 nice combo.
Yeah, and Russ was connecting with the name of that tight end escapes me, but the one with
Noah
like
Fant?
the long hair.
No. Noah Fant is in Seattle. Sorry.
Yeah, it's somebody with long hair that he was connecting with. It's
Yeah,
not
I forgot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but they could do something, and hopefully the AFC West as a whole is something that lives up to what we thought it was going to be this year. I mean, sometimes those things take time. I'm gonna jump into Kellen Moore. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but I guess instead of firing Mike McCarthy, you decide to get rid of an offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, who actually is a good coach, but I think it's more of a win for the Chargers than it is a loss for the Cowboys because Kellen Moore gets a quarterback. No disrespect to Dak, but Justin Herbert has a lot of promise.
Yeah, he does, and I think like when you look, Kellen Moore with Mike McCarthy really helped simplify the game for Dak, and they use that run game well. So now I think Kellen Moore going to the Chargers, being the OC now, not being I think he was the quarterback coach, right? Was he the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys?
No, he's the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he was. All right. So really now, which they probably going to give him the keys to the so now they're going to probably run the ball. They're going to simplify it for Justin Herbert, Kellen Moore, and if you do that, you know, I think the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert has a little bit more than Dak. I think we've seen Dak's ceiling to me, and I think Kellen Moore moving on, going to a younger player in Justin Herbert, and especially with that pass rush, if you can keep Khalil Mack, you have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, right? With Derwin James, like you have that defense that can rally for a Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert when he's given those right situations, he's got to take advantage. I think Kellen Moore can do that. You know, like I think Dak, when you really look at him, I think he's mediocre. I don't know. I'm not trying to disrespect Dak because I like him, but I think we've seen his ceiling, and I personally think Kellen Moore knows that. Like him moving on, going to the Chargers. I look at this. You go from a playoff team that beat the GOAT, right, and going to a team that got knocked out of the first round of the playoffs. People looking like, bro, you going backwards. But when you look at quarterback skill, it's really now I'm upgrading. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think that's like you were saying, Danache. Add to your point. I think that's a win for the Chargers and Kellen Moore going to.
Definitely is. Yeah, I agree.
The Cowboys' issue is always going to be themselves, whether you want to blame it on.
The Cowboys' issue is Jerry Jones.
That's it.
It's like no disrespect.
I was just the word right out my mouth, Ed. I was just going to say whether you want to blame it on Jerry Jones or
it's like the Raiders. Their issues were Al Davis, and unfortunately he had to go. Look at them. They're looking a little bit more promising. So the Cowboys, the moment, Jerry Jones is not in the picture. I'm not gonna say how he's not gonna be in the picture, but they.
And you talk about me, right?
I said, listen. I said him not being in the picture. I didn't elaborate on how he's not gonna be in the picture.
It's Black History Month, so we're gonna talk real rap. Jerry Jones, we seeing what you was at. So hey, we're gonna say how it is. You know what I mean? It's Black History Month. We saying what's real out here. So if Jerry Jones, something happened to him, I mean, maybe the Cowboys turn it around. I don't know.
The Cowboys is good.
They ain't gonna turn it around. The Cowboys are Dunzo. Brian Flores,
Mm-hmm.
Vikings DC Cardinals head coaching candidate, been linked to I believe another team or two.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a coach Flo do his thing again. I think if he were to get the opportunity for either or position, he can't lose. He has that relationship with the new GM, Monta. I don't want to kill the last name, but
Is
for the
for
Cardinals,
what team is this? He has a possible opportunity with
Vikings as the defensive
defensive
coordinator,
coordinator. Okay.
Cardinals as the head coach. You know, the Cardinals' new GM is from the Titans.
Oh.
They have a relationship, even though some teams were named in lawsuits, but
Mm.
that's irrelevant.
I'm gonna say,
Vikings, they defensive coordinator, their defense was porous. Um, so having Flo as a defensive coordinator could be good because this
yeah,
year he did his thing
With the Titans.
with
Right? I'm sorry,
the
Steelers.
Steelers. Yeah, their defense improved
Yeah,
throughout
but
the season.
wasn't he like an assistant though? He wasn't the defensive coordinator, right?
Well, he had a special title.
Linebackers coach, assistant
Like a
defensive
special
coordinator.
title.
For the Steelers. Yeah, I remember he was
Yeah, so
very
him getting
important.
defensive coordinator, I think that's. I think Cardinals. Sorry, Dana, I think that's out. I don't think when I saw when they showed the different interactions Tua had with Josh Daniels and Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores needs a little more time. I think him being a defensive coordinator. Um,
A little more time as what? As a head coach? Because he coached the hell out that team with all those. Remember, a lot of those players were gone.
mhm.
Um, Miami had an issue. All right, ownership was an issue. If
Yeah.
Tua couldn't take hard coaching and he needed a softer type of coach, then that's just personality style, right? Because Tua
Mhm.
lacks confidence. That's not a secret. But
Yeah.
Brian Flores is not a bad head coach, and the man's name I'm talking about is Monty Ossenfort. They have a relationship, so it
Mm.
makes sense. It
Mhm.
makes because Kyler need? Kyler need a coach that's no nonsense, that's gonna get the job done. Brian Flores is a winner. He comes from a
Mm,
winning culture. Let's not forget,
you think
despite
that?
all
You
that
don't think?
drama in Miami,
You
and
don't?
they had quote unquote nobodies, right? And I'm
Mm.
quote unquote, they were still winning.
Who Miami? Yeah, they were
Yeah.
at the tail
Yeah,
end
they still
because
had a little run.
They
they
did
did
have the
at
tail
the
end
end. Yeah,
of
the
his
tail
when
end.
he
I
got
agree.
fired. Yeah,
I
had a win
think
streak.
honestly, I personally think Kyler needs a lot more pampering than Tua. I don't know if
Yeah,
Brian
no,
Flores can.
no,
Yeah, he
Kyler,
do.
grow
Yes,
up.
he do. Kyler, he need pampering. Like that's a 5'10" quarterback towering over. I mean, being towered over his whole offensive line. He really don't have an identity yet. Like we have not
Oh,
seen him not roll out and be effective. Him in a pocket passer, he not that effective yet, right? So we need. I don't think Brian Flores, him being a defensive mind, unless Brian Flores, unless the Cardinals can get like a genius
a good
offensive
OC.
mind, yeah,
Hmm.
that's who can just kind of that quarterback coach and that offensive coordinator can just hover over Kyler Murray, and Brian Flores can just work on the defense and the team morale. I think that would be a good position. But I think where the Cardinals are now, the head coach needs to have the confidence of Kyler and be able to kind of like, now I don't want to say pamper because I feel like pamper is the wrong word, but like smother him in a way, like
Cater to him?
cater
At
to him.
his big age in his career,
Of
how long is
yes, come on, yo,
We love
look
using that word. Big age and
big. That don't mean
no.
nothing. Like,
I don't see why not.
let's look at this.
if he need
I
all
always
that?
love to go back to the same person you was always killing, Aaron Rodgers.
Can we
Before
Aaron
Aaron Rodgers had the quarterback, the coach he had now, when he had Mike McCarthy, he was bitching because he wanted his offense, and they
Aaron
wasn't
Rodgers
catering
don't
to
take
him no more.
accountability.
Huh?
Yeah, and look at the monster they created.
Of
He doesn't take accountability for his actions.
Wait, nah, that's not fair. Not many quarterbacks take
Thank
accountability for their
you.
actions.
It's in
Ben
them. You ain't
Roethlisberger's
changing
another
that.
one. There's a
Nah,
lot.
he'll
Thank
You
take
go down
you.
a laundry list of them.
Bro, Kyler's how
Aaron
old
Rodgers
now?
takes zero accountability.
24, 25? He's born in
Oh,
'97, so he's like
he's very young, yeah.
25.
But he's what, 4 years in?
Nah, he's born in. We see he's born in '94.
7.
Oh, he's born in '97.
Yeah.
So he's 20.
So you think he needs a softer approach to be successful? And I mean that could work, but
Yeah.
I
do
think you need
see
some. I think you
a
need.
firm man.
I think you.
I
Need,
think B Flow could work for him. I think.
I don't think
As a
so.
defensive
Hell
coordinator?
no. I think Brian Flores is
No,
like
as
what's
a
his
head
name?
coach.
As a head coach.
Nah, I think Brian
Yeah.
Flores is like what's his name? The one who's just at the
Don't
Tampa
disrespect
Bay.
Steve Wilkes.
No, Tampa Bay.
One
One
Todd
from
Bowles.
Elizabeth,
Bowles?
Todd Bowles. That's who he remind me of.
No.
Yes, he do.
No.
Danache, come on, he a younger Todd Bowles. Let's be honest. Brian Flores is a good defensive mind, but you give me a gem of a quarterback. He not knowing what to do, how to. Andy Reid, you need an Andy Reid S type of quarterback. I mean, coach for him. You see how Andy Reid can give it to you and give you different schemes and give you the game in a way that entices you to want to do more, like with Patty Mahomes.
So
But he
time
can
out.
cater to him at the
Jerry.
same time. You understand what I'm
Jerry.
saying? When you want to see him run out the pocket, you give him a Tariq Hill. I want more pocket passer. I'll move this shit around. Let me take out Tariq Hill, and then let me try to. Nah, for real. Let's be honest.
No, time out.
Go ahead.
Time out. Are you comparing Brian Flores to Todd Bowles?
Yes.
Yes or no? Don't get
Yes.
on me.
Like,
No,
you gonna get Brian Flores this whole big props?
Time out.
Okay.
Like, listen, like for real, right?
Okay.
Both are good coaches, right?
Mhm.
Both had head coaching opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be realistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Bowles, when he was on the Jets, it wasn't a good look. Defense was on fire. Offense, you can say it was his coaching. You can
he had a
say
little run,
lack
right?
of players. You can say whatever.
I believe so.
But we're not going to compare that to what Brian Flores did in Miami.
Let's hit his gas because I think you gassing Brian. So let's hit his whole thing.
You know, he was a
Let's hit
Patriot.
it exactly.
Being a Patriot, it's a fact though. Like no exaggeration. Even last year, before when we were doing the lawsuit, and I did a episode or 4 about that.
Mm-hmm.
Miami didn't have a winning season in years before Brian Flores came. And again,
he notched it. He barely got in, which I said. Todd Bowles had the same thing with the Jets. Like, Todd Bowles is a great defensive mind. Brian Flores, same thing. Brian Flores, I saw, like, he's a no-nonsense guy, and with younger guys who you're trying to take on to the big dance. That's why I say he needs more of an Andy Reid.
It might not work.
It might not work. Andy Reid.
I need to give Brian Flores a chance with an actual, and that I have to catch myself because it might sound a little crazy. I don't want to disrespect Tua, but with a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Not with all the drama and the he's injury prone and the drama with ownership and the this and the that. Like I just don't agree with that. Okay. Time is up. Cause we gonna go all day, and I ain't there to defend myself.
I ain't gonna hear Todd
I'm
Bowles
over here
win 10 and
screaming.
6 in
I'm over here
2015.
screaming. Okay.
See,
I can't end this show without
Todd Bowles.
Terrific Tom, who retired for real. Amazing career.
Let's hope he retires.
No, he retired for real. Amazing career. 23 seasons. He just GOAT, period. And I'm gonna end it like that.
That's it. No. Of course, like you gotta give it to him. You know, I think when you look at skill, winning, true GOAT status, ending off on a high note, rallying different players from all different corners of the league, everybody rallying around him, loving him. I think you got to give it to Tom. Peyton ain't have that. Peyton was like on his last leg on a crutch going to the Super Bowl. I think Tom did it so eloquently, how he left New England, went to Tampa, won over guys like LaShawn McCoy, right? got guys like Mike Evans to buy in, Leonard Fournette. Like, I think
Shit, even AB.
exactly for one season, and you know his crazy ass. Like, let's be honest. So, I think you gotta give him his flowers. I think we're never gonna see another career like him. I feel like I think a lot of dudes. I think when you look at basketball, football, right? A lot of dudes, LeBron chasing Jordan. I think a lot of these quarterbacks chasing Tom. That is a great kind of like marker to chase, because if you beat that, then yeah, I think you've revolutionized the game if you can beat out Tom's record. You know what I mean? So
Only one thing I'll say about Tom is that Michael Jordan has the most championship MVPs in North American history with 6. Tom Brady is second with 5. And he did that in football. That's insane.
That's insane. Yeah,
That's really
That's
insane.
crazy.
yeah.
Well, we gonna close it out like that. When I'm back in town next week, hopefully I don't have a NBA game. I'm coming for that ass, okay?
All right, no, we bring it, because we gotta talk the Super Bowl stuff next game. It's gonna be really. Next
Yeah, we
episode, it's
do.
gonna be really good.
Preview. I think, and honestly though, all jokes aside, I think this matchup is it.
Yeah,
I
boy.
think the Kelsey brother bowl
Yeah.
would have been better than Bengals Eagles.
sure.
I'm feeling the
Yeah.
vibes over here. I'm
Andy
feeling.
Reid's 2 teams that he coached.
There's so many
man.
storylines.
So many
Like,
storylines,
it's
man.
just amazing. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Well, appreciate y'all per usual, guys. Thank you for the love, the support. Continue to follow us, man. Give us your feedback.
Yeah.
Email us podcast_review@gmail.com question mark. I think so. And you know what it is. We're everywhere. Share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all. Jerry.